I clicked it. Sometimes it's got like a delay.
It said it was on my side. It said it was live.
Oh, it's live. Okay, what's up? What's up,
What's
Tiger Gang? It's JT from the Poco Mushan family. I'm just gonna check on the YouTube and see if we are live. Cause man, it's been acting funky lately.
man? Technology is great until it ain't.
There we are. We are live. We are live. Okay, cool. So guys, today we're back with another episode chatting with carnivores. We got Brandon, Mr. Carnivore. How you doing, Brandon?
Man, it's a pleasure to be here, man. I'm so excited. It's been a good day. Can't complain at all, man.
And you guys, I feel so at home, man. He's got the hat on and everything.
It's because my hair's nappy. I ain't got it done, so I had to do something to it.
That's what you say.
Oh, listen, if I look like a temptation up underneath this hat, I promise.
No, you're doing great, and it's all working now. The comments are rolling. Sorry about that. We had a rough start, you guys. StreamYard was acting up. Sorry about that, Brandon.
Ain't no thing.
Normally it's a little bit smoother.
Ain't no thing, man.
So, how's your day going, Brandon?
It's going good, man. I can't complain. I'm alive, and just another day. Grateful to be here. Grateful to be able to share my story, to link up with you, and to get to know you and your base and everyone that's connected to you. And so, man, it's a good day. Can't complain.
Yeah, I'm gonna send some carnivores your way, you guys.
Yeah.
Now, where are you from and where are you at, Brandon?
I'm from Alexandria, Louisiana. So
Louisiana?
I was born in Alexandria, Louisiana. I was raised from about 10 on up in Beaumont, Texas. So I kind of split time between both of those. And I now live in Houston area now. So
okay, still in Texas.
Still in Texas.
What's your favorite part about the Houston area there?
Well, I don't really like cold weather. So
I'm up in Wisconsin, man.
I can't much of it. No, I was offered 2 jobs, one in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and one in Lansing. Both times I went up there in the wintertime, and I just couldn't do it. It was too cold. I can't do it. So we do get some winter, but it's not terrible. So I like that. I like our food. I think we cook really, really good down here. And so, being so close to the Louisiana border.
You guys get the Cajun spice in there?
Yeah, we get it. And we get the authentic stuff. But then, Houston's so diverse. There's people from all nationalities all over the city. It's a huge city. You can get food from all over, anything that you want, any kind of entertainment that you want. And it's pretty close to everything. It's about 3 hours from Dallas, 3 hours from Austin, 4 hours from San Antonio. You can get to New Orleans in 5 hours. You can get to Florida in 8. You can get to Atlanta. I mean, so it's just a cool place to be.
Sounds like a hot spot. I like it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I think when they hear it, they were from Texas. I think they envision us like on horses or something.
Horses and wearing hats. And Wisconsin too. They picture cows, so I embraced it, man. I got the cow hat.
Are you a cheese guy?
I'm a cheese guy. Yep, I still eat cheese on the carnivore diet. Not a lot. I mostly eat it when I have
I wasn't even talking about the carnivore diet. I just meant, do you like cheese? I don't.
Yep,
I'm not really a cheese guy.
I like cheese, and I'm also a Packers fan, so I'm a cheese head. You could call me.
I got you. See, I'm a Saints fan.
Okay. We've had some battles, man.
I've been happy in a while.
Well, you guys had some good ones on us, so
yeah. It's been a while.
Right. So, have you had any battles with food, or what brought you the carnivore, Brandon?
Well, so I have been a singer the majority of my life.
What do you sing?
Entertainer. Man, everything. Top 40 stuff. It could be rock, jazz, pop, R&B, soul. I was a worship pastor for quite a while as well. So, I did a lot of gospel and CCM and things of that nature. But when I graduated high school, I was 120 pounds. No, sorry. About 125, 130 pounds when I graduated high school. It was about 15, 16, 17. It's been a while, 17 years ago now. And, but so I was never a big boy. You know what I mean? Like I grew up the skinny guy. That's what they called me. I was a twig. I played baseball and did all that stuff and sang and whatever. So I was never a big guy. But what I realized, I never really had any like battles with food per se, as like it was never restricted from me necessarily. And I was never really without, and I wouldn't consider myself to be someone that just like gorged themselves in food or used it as a means of, maybe to some extent as an emotional thing, but I don't think I would consider myself that. But as time went on, I became a bigger boy. And so, I had to really look at myself in the mirror one day. At my largest, I was 223 pounds at my largest. Okay.
Mm.
So and just looking at myself and knowing that I couldn't look much better than what I'm looking. But that was not enough motivation at first to get anything going. I mean, this has been a year over year over year process of me becoming a bigger guy, and and then I was in the church. Nobody would ever say that I was obese or just a fat, sloppy, whatever somebody would think of when they think of a big old guy. I don't think I really fit that mold. And so that hurt me in the long run because I was unable to see how bad off I was because I had so many other things that were probably going for me that kind of overshadowed that stuff. But I looked in the mirror and I was like, man, this is terrible. I've got to do something about this. Um, Last year, October, about middle of October of last year of 2022, I went to the ENT, the ear, nose, and throat doctor, because I was having trouble with my voice. I told you I've been singing my whole life, and I do it all over the country. Places like Mastro Steakhouse and Vic and Anthony's and Morton's, places like that. And I was having a lot of trouble doing things vocally that I never really struggled with, or at least not to that extent. So finally, I broke down. I went to the ENT, and when I got in there, he looked at me before he even checked it. He said, "Man, you're a mess. You look a mess." I was like, "Man, this dude looks like a mess." And he said, "Man," so he put the scope down my throat, and he looked and he said, "Man, you've got about 3 or 4 nodules, or the beginning stages of formation of vocal nodules on your vocal cords."
And what are those?
And so they're just like little polyps or little cysts that form on the vocal cords. And so when you're singing, how you sustain a note is because the vocal cords are staying together. So as you're going up,
Mm.
but if you have the polyp on your vocal cord, it stops the closure. And so then your voice becomes scratchy, becomes harsh, becomes weak, and then
Makes
ultimately,
you like skip a note.
yeah, it's just like you start missing pieces, literal pieces or chunks out of your singing voice.
Mm.
And so it had gotten so bad to by the time January came. Well, let me back up. So I got there. He says, "Man, you've got your nodules are starting to form on your vocal cords. Number one." He said, "Number two, I don't know if you've got a viral infection or something." He said, "But you've got so much mucus on your throat and on your chest cavity." He said, "I can barely see the nodules." He said, "But I know they're there." But he said, "But you've got so much mucus on there that like I don't even know how you're operating right now." He said, "You also have sleep apnea. I can tell by what's going on back there that you've got sleep apnea," which I've been snoring for 15 years, man. I mean, I snore loud. I mean, like my friends have videos of me that they've been sharing for years. I can like peel the paint off the walls when it comes to snoring. It's been terrible. He said, "You've got sleep apnea," which I was like, man, okay. And he said, "You've got severe reflux. So we need to put you on some reflux medicine." And he said, "We're going to have to order you a sleep test so we can get a CPAP machine ordered for you so that you can have that to kind of counteract that sleep apnea that you have now." And man, I was like, man, that's crazy. And so then he gave me this list of things that he wanted me to adhere to as far as a diet was concerned. And it was, leafy green vegetables and fruits. And if I wanted meat, it was going to have to be like no shellfish. It was just lean fish. And whole grain and oats and no red meat and no salt. So that was his recommendation for me to maybe start to lose some weight and get rid of some of the reflux that I had going on and hopefully try to fix some of the sleep apnea. And so I was like, okay, man, well, I'll just try it. And of course, I didn't do it to a T, but I did it enough to know that from October to January, after I got the diagnosis, that's about 4 months, I didn't get any better. I got worse. So much so that in December I stopped singing completely. So by
Mm.
January, yeah, so by January, it had gotten to the point to where I could not even hum a note. I was at a friend's home in Florida, and we were around the piano, and she was playing, and she said, "Hey, sing this for me." And I started to sing, and I mean, she was literally about to start crying because I could not get anything out. I mean, my voice was just completely shot with the nodules and with the mucus and with the sleep apnea. I mean, I couldn't win for lose with that. And and that was a wake up call for me because I've been singing my entire life, and so now to have something that I've been doing for so long to come to such an abrupt halt, I mean, that was a big deal. And so I remember I was working at a coworker, and we were at the lunch table, and I saw his plate, and he had like 2 pounds of brisket on his plate, and then he had a mason jar of beef bone broth. And I said, "Man, what do you got over there?" I had never seen anybody just sit there with 2 pounds of brisket. I ain't never seen it. I ain't never seen it. I'm from the country. I mean, you talk about mashed potatoes and cornbread and greens and all that stuff. But this dude sat down with 2 pounds of dry brisket and a mason jar of bone broth. So I said, "What are you doing that for?" And he had really bad acne. It was all over his nose, and I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but it's the reality of it. It was all over his nose, all over his face, and he had taken Accutane to try to fix it, and instead of it fixing it, it had caused the acne to become cystic, so
Mm.
it just exaggerated the
Made it
issue.
worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made it worse. And so he had heard about the carnivore diet and that it could possibly help with his skin. And I said, "Oh, okay, cool." I thought nothing else of it. Within a month, about 80% of what he had going on had cleared up. I mean, I mean, I'm telling you, it was bad. It was almost like somebody would think that he was starting to like have leprosy. Like it was not good. It was all on his
Wow.
lips, on his nose. It was everywhere. And then a month later, I mean, it had drastically changed. And I saw a
Is that
picture.
the friend you're gonna have on your channel?
No, the guy that you're thinking about is Samson. He's the heavier gentleman, my man.
You
Uh,
got to have this guy on too,
oh, I know. I should get him on
if
here.
he's
Yeah.
if he's willing. If he's willing,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I should reach out
because
to
it's
him
an
because
interesting story here.
it is a very interesting story. And honestly, it wasn't until a few months ago that I remembered that that was the nugget that actually dropped in my mind because I didn't start doing this probably until maybe 4 months after that interaction with him.
Mm.
And I wasn't even at the same place of work. I wasn't working in the same place, so he wasn't on my mind. We weren't seeing each other, anything like that. And um and so, but yeah, so if you see him now, the dude could go model for a makeup brand or something. Like his skin is flawless. You would never know
It's
that
amazing.
that's what he was dealing with. And so anyway, that was my first encounter with anything like that. I had heard about the keto diet for some years, and I just kind of blew it off because just the way we were taught about health and things that were good for you and things that were bad for you. I just blew it off because I assumed eating large quantities of meat and bacon, butter and all of that stuff couldn't be healthy for you. I was always taught that, the red meat and the fatty stuff and the butter and all of the saturated fat, all of that stuff that was bad for you. Almost so to the point to where I felt like the less amount of meat that I could eat, the more conscious of an eater that I was, because it was almost purported to us that being vegan or being vegetarian was the more elevated, more socially acceptable, more mature, more you know conscious, world conscious, and social conscious way to do things. And so I didn't grow up eating that way, but as I got older and I was able to make decisions more, I would almost feel bad if I went and had a hamburger instead of, a salad. And it wasn't so much so, that it was on the moral side of things. I just felt like, man, these people are so much more disciplined than me that they can control the food that they're eating and eat this better food. And here I am struggling with bacon and sausage and ribs. And, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And so anyway, I I had never seen anyone eat like that before. That was not something that was explained to me. So, um, come January 22nd, I watched a video by Dr. Anthony Shafee, and it was called Plants Are Trying to Kill You. And so it's a 30-minute video. And in that video, Dr. Shafee starts to talk about how plants are not a part of a normal human diet. That there's a lot of things in plants that are not bioavailable to us as human beings, not to mention the fact that they're releasing their chemicals within us because, you know, they're living organisms and they want to survive and they don't want to be killed. So they're doing all of those things as well. Even the reality that carbohydrates is just a big word for sugar, and that every time I was putting that in my body, that my liver was having to process that, turn that into fat, and release that into the bloodstream by raising the insulin within my body. I didn't know any of that stuff. And so I mean, it was a 30-minute video, and I mean, it probably took me 2 hours to get through because I kept pausing it and telling my girlfriend, I was like, Marie, are you listening to what this dude is saying? Like I watched it 3 or 4 times. I mean, and it blew my mind because it was so contrary to anything that I had ever been taught or ever been told about, you know. And I've tried to be vegan before. I did it for, you know, roughly maybe 2 or 3 months. And dude, I was hungry all the time. I was hungry. I lost a little weight and I felt good because I felt like I was doing the conscious things. I wasn't killing animals. I wasn't, you know, consuming them and eating them. And I was eating healthier, you know, but so I've done all of that stuff. But watching that video, it was the polar opposite of anything that I've ever been taught or anything that has ever been said to me, and probably anything that ever been said to you or anybody watching, really. And so that day, I woke up that morning and I said, Marie, I'm going to try this carnivore diet thing. I said, I'm going to go 30 days and I'm just not going to exercise so I don't put strain on my body. Because I had some friends that were concerned that if I did do this, and some of them are medical professionals too, as well. And I appreciate that. I mean, they meant no harm by, you know, trying to caution me on things like they wouldn't have said anything if they didn't care about something happening to me. So I understood that. And so I told Maria, I said, you know what? I just won't exercise for the first 30 days. So that way, if I am doing something that's wrong, I'm not going to exaggerate it by, you know, putting extra stress or strain on my body. And so January 22nd of this year, I started my first day. I believe I had, you know, ground beef, eggs, bacon, and sausage, and I probably ate that twice that day. And I remember probably by the first week, Marie woke me up and she said, babe, you did not snore one time last night. This is on day 6. Okay. Now I've not really lost any real weight yet or anything like that. I mean, I'm probably getting a little water weight out of my face, but in 6 days. Now remember, in October, 4 months prior, I had just been diagnosed with sleep apnea. They had ordered the sleep test and they had approved the CPAP machine. Okay. So now in 6 days, the sleep apnea is completely gone. I'm not snoring anymore. Which is so cool because the guy that I was telling you about, Samson, the 426-pound guy that I had started working with, he stopped snoring in 4 days. Right.
It usually happens in the first week for most carnivores. It's
426 pounds, bro, and stop snoring in 4 days. I mean, it's asinine. And you know, but that's because I realized, you know, I watched Dr. Shafee speak on that, and he was talking about, of course, when we're taking in the carbohydrates, and the carbohydrates are being turned into fat by way of the liver. You know, the fat's getting pushed out to different places within our body. One of the places that it goes is to our tongue. So a lot of people that are snoring, they're suffering from fatty tongue. So when they cut the carbohydrates and excess fat's not being created anymore, it's not going to places like the back of your tongue. Therefore, that tongue is not fat anymore. That's just no different than whenever they're trying to feed a duck a certain thing because they want it to get a fatty liver. Like you feed it all that junk, the grain and all of that stuff to put fat on it. Okay. So
My
that's why,
dentist said I had a fat tongue, and I wonder if that's because that was when I was,
yeah,
pre-carnivore, and I
yeah,
wonder if
yeah.
carbs were doing that.
Yeah, it's very possible because
Mm,
again, I didn't understand how, I was still 200 something pounds. I started 207 when I started this. I was still in the 200s and I didn't understand why I stopped snoring before I lost any real weight. That was just blew my mind. But again, the more you know, then you realize that it really doesn't have anything to do. I mean, it has something to do with how big we are, but more so the fact that we're consuming so much sugar that the body is having to place fat in places that it really
it
shouldn't
shouldn't
have
be.
to. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Mm,
that's nuts. So I stopped snoring in 6 days. I stopped taking my reflux medicine because all of my acid reflux had gone away. Okay. Now, when I tell you I had acid reflux, I had, like, if I ate something spicy and then took a sip of Coke, it would literally like knock me out of my chair. I had acid reflux.
oof.
And within that week, that had completely dissipated. Okay. And I know that it had stopped because I had never stopped drinking diet sodas throughout my 90-day challenge that I had did to myself. So I was still drinking diet soda, so I still had the carbonation and things, but I had zero reflux. And I have not suffered, I have not had reflux. I've had reflux since I was 18 years old and I'm
Mm.
33. So I mean, I've been doing that. And so that was crazy to me as well. So I stopped taking the reflux medicine. I was never on cholesterol medicine. I had high cholesterol, but I had never taken the cholesterol medicine because I wanted to try to fix it without that. So the sleep apnea is gone. The reflux is gone. The inflammation is gone. I have had zero stomach issues. I've suffered from hemorrhoids and things like that, just from being, sorry for TMI, but being extremely constipated, and
It
straining.
happens. It's real
Yeah,
life.
I've fought with that most of my adult life. And again, full transparency, my grandmother has suffered from things like that. My grandmother has been suffering with cancer for the last 20 years,
Mm.
of ovarian cancer, stage 3. But she's always had stomach issues, and I've felt like I've always had that, and hemorrhoids was one of those things. That completely stopped within that week. I from that point on until today, I have had zero issues with my stomach, zero issues with going to the restroom, zero issues with constipation or anything like that. So within the first month, I had lost, my first 30 days, I lost 27 pounds. And then I went the next 30 days to day 60, and I lost probably about 10 or 15 pounds. I did run a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 times. I like to run when I do exercise. So I normally just turn on my stopwatch and I go for an hour and I run for about 5 or 7 miles. I did that about 4 or 5 times, but nothing significant. I'd stopped because I realized that I was seeing so many results without even doing those things. So I was like, well, let me just let it run its course and just see what happens. So I lost about another 10 or 15 pounds. And then by April 1st, which was day 68, so I wasn't even 90 days in yet, I had gone from 207 to 150. So
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, I had lost 60 pounds,
Wow.
by that point. Um, and that was before 90 days. That was day 68. If my math is correct, from January 22nd to April 1st, that's 68 days. So I mean, that
That's
was
an amazing transformation, man. It's
it
like a
was
pound a day, my dude.
bro, it was crazy. And you know what? I stuck with it, man. One of the reasons that I feel like this worked so well for me is the fact that every other diet that I've ever done, any other time I've decided I was going to lose weight or whatever, um, I was always hungry, bro. I'm just starving. I was eating my meal, thinking about what I was going to eat after for the next meal. I was always hungry. Eating this way, being so satiated with the foods that we're allowed to eat, and we can get into stuff like that if you want to, but eating the foods that we're allowed to eat, I realized what real hunger was and what was just cravings and pains based upon what I had been putting inside of my body. Full transparency, I have eaten some fruit, I've eaten some chips and stuff like that since, since I've lost all the weight and did all those things. But I will tell you this, um, anytime I do it, I have issues. Whether it's little pimples popping up that I didn't have, or little aches and little pains that I hadn't been having while I was on that diet. And especially I don't have hunger pangs until I start to consume carbohydrates. If I eat some plantain chips, you can bet my stomach is going to be growling as if I had been starving it for 2 or 3 weeks, but on this diet, because we're able to eat the way that we're able to eat, I found myself understanding for the first time what it meant to be hungry and to not be hungry. It wasn't the hunger pangs and the cravings that I've experienced my entire life, because probably just like you and everybody else, I've been eating a high carbohydrate diet most of my life, not on purpose, just by default. That's just the way it's set up. You get some meat and you get 3 sides and you get bread and you get
potatoes
yeah, you get the whole nine. And so, that's just the way our diet's been set up. And so I never knew what it felt like just to eat something that the body wanted for the first time, because I've been dumping sugar by way of carbohydrates into my body since I was born. My mom was doing it when I was in her womb. You know what I'm saying? Like this starts way before we even get here.
Oof.
The things that are being put inside of our children because of the diet. Like if our body as a woman carrying a child, not to speak on a woman's body, but as a woman carrying a child, if my body doesn't want a piece of cake, the baby damn sure doesn't want the piece of cake. If it has an adverse effect on you, it's also going to have an adverse effect. So it goes so deep. So I've never known what it is pre-birth or up until January 22nd, what it felt like for my body to just eat what it requires and see what that feels like. I had never experienced that before. And so when the hunger pangs went away, and I just genuinely stopped being hungry, and not in an unhealthy way to where I didn't want to eat. If I wanted to eat, I ate, but I never find myself like panting or like scrounging or getting angry to try to find something to eat. I'm never in deficit. And then because I've been doing it so long now, the amount of food that it takes for my body to, exist on, or the energy that it needs, is dramatically different than what it used to be as well. And so I feel like one of the reasons why it helped me so well and why I stuck with it is because I wasn't hungry. And every other diet that I've ever been on, I've been so daggum hungry just thinking about food. And eventually one little cheat leads to another little cheat. And then I'm back up 25 pounds. And that's not been the case with this. Every time that I veered from the path, I enjoyed what I ate. I hated what I felt. I took it for what it was, and I moved on. I will never want to go back feeling the way that I felt or looking the way that I looked before this. I mean, I looked like a lunch lady with no hair now. I was looking like a raccoon. My dad's eyes were getting dark underneath. And I don't understand. I tell my girlfriend, I was like, man, you kissed a frog and made a prince, because I'm so grateful that you decided to stay with me, because man, if you saw pictures of me then, and then you see pictures of me now, it's just like, dude. She told me one time, she said,
hey, treat her to a steak. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? She told me one time, she said, I didn't know that my boyfriend had a long face. She said, I just thought you had a round face.
Oh man, she's getting at you.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man. She just roasted me, man. She's like, I thought you had a round face, and even I know this sounds crazy to some folks, but you never. Like every day I discover something else that it's done, or that it's enhanced, or that it's made better. I hated my smile. I think my smile's crooked, like it's thrown up a gang sign with my lips. Like it's just not working out the way that I wanted to work out. Losing 70 pounds. So I was 207. I teeter between 135 and 140 now. Okay. So I mean, I've pretty much stopped losing weight.
How tall are you, Brandon?
I'm 5'9" when I'm fine. I'm 5'8" when I'm fat. So I'm so I'm 5'9" right now.
That's great. That's great.
um, yeah, but I teeter between that. But what I found was very interesting is that even though I've stopped losing weight probably 3 or 4 months ago, the fat continues to come off, and so I've still been having to like change clothes size and change waist size and pants and things. I even went and got a bunch of jackets tailored
So you're
and
still losing fat, but you're maintaining the same weight
yeah,
on the scale?
maintain the same
So
weight
you're
on.
probably building some muscle.
Yeah, building muscle. Yeah, people would look at me. I'm not a huge guy, but people would look at me. He's like, "Oh, he's so."
Hey, gun show.
No, no gun show. I mean, but I'm a size. I'm a 24 in the waist now. I started at 36. Okay, so when people look at me, they're like, "Oh man, he's such a small guy." But then if they look at me, and I'm not trying to gloat, like if they see my chest or if they see my arms, it's like, no, I mean, I may be smaller now, but I'm big in the places that it matters. Matter of fact, y'all better catch that. I'm, I'm big in the places where it matters, and so that's another thing that I really appreciated about this was the fact that I've seen people lose weight by being in caloric deficit for months on end, or being vegans or being vegetarian, and I find that the more weight they lose, the more unnatural they begin to look, within their bodies and within their faces. I feel like they begin to look aged a bit, and I'm not trying to talk bad on them. I feel like on this, I lost the weight, but I still look natural. I feel like I dropped my girlfriend. Well, everybody says like, boy, we thought you were in your 40s. Like you look like you're in your 20s now. So and when I do have my hair done, I probably do look like I'm in my 20s. But that was just such a big deal. But my smile, my neck size went from 17 and 3/4, and now it's 13 and a half inches. So I lost 4 inches in my neck.
See,
Okay. So,
that's something I didn't think to measure. So you
oh,
guys,
bro.
if you're taking measurements, do the neck too.
Yeah, do the neck, man. I mean, I'm telling you, it was. I started 17 and 3/4. I'm gonna get to the smile. I promise you. I started 17 3/4, and then we took the measurements in June, and my neck was at 15 and like 15 and a half. So I had lost 2 inches in my neck, probably within April, May, June. So about 3 months, and then we did it a month later, and it had gone down 2 inches more. So it went from 15 and a half to 13 and a half.
Wow.
My neck size was not something that I really considered, in the process, or that it would be that dramatic. I went from being in an XL, and if I wanted to, I went from being in a large, and if I wanted it to fit slim, I would get an XL and then get the slim fit, so it could take up that belly that I had going on down there. I went from that, all the way down to this is an extra small from China. Like this ain't,
Wow.
it. I mean, and it's got some lag on it. And my point to that is that like it just dramatically changed all of that. So, but with my neck going down so far, you can actually see all my daggum teeth because I don't have all that fat in my freaking face, and so I smile a lot more because you can see
So
all
you
my
got a good
you
smile,
can see all
Brandon.
my teeth, man. You know what I mean? But there's something even that small. I didn't think that it was going to change my freaking smile or something. But I feel like the more natural you eat, the more natural your body becomes to the more perfect form that it's meant to become. And I'm not trying to be like woo woo or, a quack or anything like that. But I believe that as we give our bodies the things that it wants, it begins to give us the best version of ourselves.
Ooh,
And
I love it.
that doesn't just apply to food. That's in the things that we consume with our eyes, what we're reading and what we're hearing and what we're listening to and who we're talking. Like the more we do those things, the more apparent. And if we give it the right stuff, then our minds, our bodies will begin to react in a positive way. And when we give it the wrong thing, doesn't matter the intention. Intention can't trump reality. The reality is that if we give it the wrong thing with the right intention, I'm still going to suffer. And so I was eating the wrong stuff with the right intentions, but my intention didn't matter. I had to change what I was doing. And when I gave my body what it wanted, it started to do things for me that I didn't even count on it doing or even anticipate it doing. And so, man, it's just been, as far as my personal journey is concerned, it's changed so much. I never thought that I would be on social media. Like I said, I was a pastor for a long time, an entertainer, musician, and singer. I never thought that I would be on social media talking about health stuff. If you told me a year ago that I would be on social media telling people how to get rid of diabetes and how to get rid of high blood pressure and how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Like I would have told you you were crazy. I was never interested in that stuff. It's not like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't my passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I understand how important what we do with our bodies is. It's so important. And it took me losing potentially something that was so important to me that by my neglect in the way that I was eating, I had harmed it. And it was my fault, through overuse, but also through the things that I was eating and the sleep apnea. I'm choking in my sleep every night. I mean, that can't be good for your daggone vocal cords or anything else, And so I had to take responsibility for my role and my part in the things that I was experiencing. And so, I mean, this was a wake up call for me because to go from being able to sing to barely being able to speak sometimes,
Mm.
that was a huge, huge thing. And so I had a huge problem and I felt like I couldn't take tiny measures to fix that. Like people told me how extreme doing this diet was. Like it's just the craziest thing. Just gonna eat meat, butter, eggs, water, salt. That's all you're gonna do. But my thing was my issue was extreme. I didn't want to wait a year to fix what I had going on. I didn't want to wait a year to lose 70 pounds and beating myself in the gym. And I mean, I've done that stuff. That's why my clients, man, when I work with them, one of the things I tell them is that don't work out for the first 30 days, especially those that have severe weight problems. I said, because you have tried diets and you have gone to the gym for years and years and years. You've fallen off, gotten back on, fallen off, gotten back on. I want you to see results first. Because if you see the results first, then it will encourage you to go be more active and to go more. There's nothing more discouraging than beating yourself in the gym and losing 2 pounds in a month. I mean,
Mm.
that sucks.
That is
I mean,
tough.
that's so discouraging, and especially if you're 50 pounds overweight and you're losing 2 pounds a month, but you're having to work out in that gym an hour and a half, 5 days a week. To me, that's not a payoff. I mean, I'm robbing my life so that I can potentially maybe lose 50 pounds. And then if I get 3 months in and I slip up, then I'm going to keep slipping up. And then I have to start that process over again. And I've done that time after time after time after time after time. And so with my clients, I tell them, don't work out for the first 30 days. You can if you want to, but I would admonish you not to, because when you see the results without the working out, it'll make you want to go out and do more. And that's been the case for all of them. Every single one of them that started seeing the results, they were more prone to go out, whether they were doing, because I've worked with people who are in their 20s. I've worked with people who are almost in their 70s. So whether they're out doing water aerobics or whether they're just able to walk in the grocery store again, because
Yeah.
they used to not be able to walk. The guy Samson that we were talking about, he had gout for 2.5 years. Um, Going to his podiatrist, trying all the treatments and the different alternatives and whatnot, and none of that stuff helped him. None of that stuff worked out for him, and it had gotten so bad to where he had developed the gout in his foot and in his shin. His one foot was the size of 3 feet. Okay, he could not wear his tennis shoes anymore, so he had to wear Crocs, and he have to cut the back of the sock off because he couldn't put the whole foot in the sock. The back would have to hang out. Okay, so this dude is suffering with this for 2.5 years. He can't walk in the grocery store with his wife, and he doesn't want to be on that scooter. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be on that stupid thing either. I mean, those who have to do it, I get it, but I wouldn't want to be on that. I don't think anybody wants to be on that. In a week and a half, he texted me at 6 in the morning, 6-ish in the morning. He said, man, my gout's gone. 2.5 years of fighting with that.
And then a
And
week and a half.
a week and a half on this diet, and his gout was gone. Okay.
It's ridiculous, right? The carnivore diet is ridiculous.
People again, and it's like folks are like, oh, that can't be true. Like I can't wait for him to be able to get on and tell his own story, because I get it. It sounds so outlandish, because who the heck am I? I'm not a daggum doctor or anything like that. I'm not a wellness expert or anything. Somebody would look at me and say that guy is a quack. He's telling you to stop eating vegetables and just eat meat and butter and eggs. That's the craziest thing. Don't listen to him. Who am I? But what I do know is that what the doctors couldn't do in 2.5 years, we were able to do in a week and a half. And all we did was eliminate the wrong stuff and incorporate the right stuff. That's all we
Mm,
did. That's all we did.
that was beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, so now he's past 30 days in, but he was at his 30-day mark. I think he was down to 388 from 426. That's like 40 something pounds that he had gone down. His gout was gone, his diabetes was gone, his high blood pressure was gone.
It's amazing. I can't wait till you have him on your channel.
I know, man. It's absolutely crazy. But you see these people who have these issues, and now they're seeing the results. Now he wants to go out and run and exercise and do all of these things, because at one point he was unable to do so. So
You guys go and subscribe to Brandon's channel, Mr. Carnivore. I was your 17th subscriber, guys. Let's go. We got to get him up. Man,
oh yeah, no, I
you are
appreciate
so
you.
eloquent and detailed and just smooth with your story and everything. It's amazing, man.
Man, it's changed my life, and it's changing the lives of the people that we're working with. And I know that sounds like Mother Teresa stuff, but I mean it really is. Like
Facts are facts, man. They can take them how they want to take them, but you
yeah,
don't
bro.
want to sugarcoat it, right?
I'll tell you like this: being a pastor, I feel like was something that I did because I wanted to change lives. I feel like through this diet, I will change more lives for the rest of my life than I ever did when I was in church and praying for them and trying to meet their needs in other ways.
And
We
you
would
can still pray for them.
we can still pray for them. We
Yeah,
can
and they're gonna get even better, man, if they get the proper nutrition that
proper
God has given
nutrition.
them.
We're going to heal their diseases, cure their sicknesses, and show them a better way to live. And for me, that's a long-standing thing. When somebody can say, "You gave me the ability to shop with my wife in the grocery store again," that's something that so many people would take for granted. But this diet made it possible. This way of eating, this way of living made it possible, and it didn't take 2.5 years. It did it in a week and a half, man.
It's those little things that we have to value because, even like breathing, man, I almost died from my sleep apnea, Brandon.
Yeah.
I hit the floor and everything. I just I couldn't breathe, man. And then for 20 minutes, all I got was just the littlest bit of air. And those 20 minutes felt like 2 hours, man. And I didn't know if the next breath wasn't even going to come at all, that little
Yeah.
bit. And then I'd be done. So the whole 20 minutes, I was like, dude, which breath is going to be my last? And we don't got to live like that. We don't have to live in fear of, maybe it can't cure everything, obviously, but it can sure make a dang big difference in your life if someone gave it a try.
Yeah, no, it would help a lot. It would definitely help a lot. And I want more people to see this, because I really think it's the answer for so many things. Dr. Shafee, which, I don't know what doctors, your listeners are listening to. I watch Dr. Anthony Shafee, Dr. Robert
I'm
Kiltz.
trying to get Chafee on a carnivore calendar.
Yeah, me too. He agreed. Now we got to get him on the calendar.
Right. Yeah, because when
uh,
I asked him, he didn't say no. He didn't say no, so I take that as a yes.
well, look, maybe if I get him on first, we can just do it together.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Let me know because I haven't had him on chatting with carnivores either, and I've been wanting to hit him up. So if you hit him up, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. But Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Cyrus.
Have you tried the Kilt's ice cream?
I have not tried the Kiltz ice cream yet.
I haven't yet either.
I haven't, because this has made me such a lazy eater. when I think about going in and having to make some ice cream, it just I don't want to do it. That's really what it boils down to. Like it's so crazy that it used to take hours to prepare food and get ready for either myself or for family or anything
And the
like
ingredients.
all the ingredients and all the money spent. And now, man, it takes me 10, 12 minutes tops, depending on maybe less, depending on what I'm doing, to decide right then and there what's the quickest, easiest thing that I can do right now to eat. But I genuinely enjoy it. You know, I season my food. I use one main season. I use Slap Your Mama. I don't know if they have Slap Your Mama up there in Wisconsin. It's the cake.
No, it reminds me of the Friday After Next though. Tastes so good, you want to slap your mama, man.
Yeah, come here, mama.
We were just talking about that too, man.
I know, it's so crazy. No, it's called
That's
Slap Your
funny.
Mama. It's just a Cajun seasoning. It's got onion powder, garlic powder, salt, red pepper, and black pepper. And that's, I'm from Louisiana, so I gotta have something. But that's about as crazy as I get with the seasons. But I mean, I genuinely enjoy the food that I eat. But no, I've not tried to kill to ice cream because I feel like it wouldn't take that long, but it's just too much of a process. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
But I'm
like Shane from Sightless Carnivores, he says just slap it on the grill. And I'm like, man, it can't get easier than that.
It can't
Slap
get
it on the
easy.
grill.
Just slap it on the grill. Yeah, he's good. Steak and Butter Gal, obviously has a great content. And Dr. Ken Berry. And then there's one more that maybe Paul. I listen to some of Paul's stuff too. Paul Saladino. I do listen to some of his stuff as well. But I mean, those doctors, they really, because I didn't know what I was doing, bro. Like, again, I'm not a health expert. I
No,
didn't
I
know.
give you kudos for doing research because I heard Carrie from Homestead House doing it, and I just cannonballed right into the carnivore pool. I was like, look out. And I just went in, man, and I was dirty carnivore though at first. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that salami had carbs in it and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. I was like, well, it's meat. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, it's still got, I'm like, oh man. So it's a learning process and nobody's going to be perfect.
No, yeah. Nobody's gonna be perfect. I watched it because I wanted to be able to explain what I was doing and why I was doing what I was doing, because so many people, I know so many people, I come in contact with so many people. So everyone was asking, what are you doing? And then why are you doing that? And so I didn't just want to sound like I was just an idiot, because I could have just said, well, I eat meat and it works, but I wanted them to understand.
What do your friends and family say about your diet, Brandon? I'm curious.
Well, my girlfriend's been very, very, very she's been very supportive on this. Honestly,
Is she getting interested in that at all?
yeah, you know what? She's carnivore light. I'd say she's a carnivore-ish.
Like ketovore, maybe?
I wouldn't even give her that.
Well, just keep doing what you're doing.
But she but she has seen the benefits of it. There's one thing that she was struggling with, and she stopped. Well, she did the carnivore with me for about a week, and it did help that, like, it subsided completely. And when she started to reincorporate the other foods again, those issues start to come back. And so it's not a matter that she doesn't believe it or that she doesn't know that it doesn't work. It's just not that important to her right now, and I get that with some people, but for me, it changed my life, and I had so much to regain, and I had so much. Oh,
It's
and
like with your singing, you hit rock bottom. You were like, dude, if I can't sing, what's the point?
Yeah, and one more thing I forgot, the mucus. I was telling y'all about how much mucus I had. It had gotten so bad to where I had spit like bottles, like empty water bottles. I would have them in my car. I'd have them around the house because I was spitting like every 10 seconds. I'm not exaggerating. I was just hacking it up. I've been doing that for months. In 1 week, it all went away. For the first week on this diet, my mouth was so dry, from the lack of carbohydrates.
Mhm.
It was just so dry. And when I tell you, it dried up all the mucus that was on my vocal cords in 1 week, it was gone. And I had been dealing with that like at least since October, maybe even prior to that. I think I had maybe gotten a cold right when fall had started, and I just think it was just residual that just never quite went away all the way.
And how are the bumps on the throat now on Carnivore?
So my singing voice is 1000% better. I actually go to the doctor, and I'll update y'all. I'll go to the doctor October the 11th.
Do a video on it,
Yeah,
please.
for them to actually look at the throat and see if the polyps are completely gone. I think they're gone. What I'm more concerned about them seeing is if there's any kind of scarring left over, and that's what I want to see. But I do believe that they're gone, because there's things that I couldn't do just vocally, just speaking wise, that I can do it now. And so I'm telling you, this cured so much. I started it to try to help my voice and to lose some weight. I ended up curing every ailment that I had and losing damn near 70 pounds. And and now I'm able to help other people see the light. And I mean that, like, it is the light when this clicks for you, and you realize how much we've neglected our bodies, and how much we've neglected to make sure we're giving our bodies the right thing. I feel closer to God. Somebody would say, oh, here we go. I feel closer to God now than I ever have in my entire life,
I
because
feel the same as well. I just don't,
yeah,
don't talk about it much, but I
yeah,
feel the same way.
I
Yeah.
feel closer to God, because I feel like I don't have multiple parts of my life in conflict with each other. I feel like everything is,
It's in harmony.
yeah, it's in harmony. Yeah, I feel like things are in harmony. I feel like as I get better in my body, I get better in my mind. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect, but what I can say that I am a totally different person inwardly and outwardly since starting and now being on this for now. It's about to be October, so 8 months now, or 9 months now is what I've done. I mean, it's been crazy.
I just hit day 100 today,
Come
so
on, man. Heck
yeah.
yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, it's crazy, that this works, and there's so much misinformation out there. That's
There is.
that's the craziest thing that I've
I feel
learned.
18, Brandon. I just can't hold. I can't even. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just cannot
No,
hold it
you
in, man.
feel
I
it.
feel so good. Man. I almost sometimes, like, when I hear guys like you talking, I almost want to jump out of my seat. I get so excited about this, man.
Yeah, no, man. I'm telling you, like, it's changed everything. It's made everything better. Like you said, I feel better than I felt when I was in high school. I feel like I look better than I did when I was in high school. I'm functioning better than I did when I was in high school. And I mean, that's just crazy that this was able to physically, both what you see and what I'm feeling, take away. I feel like years. I feel like it took 15 years off of my life. It's just
Mm-hmm.
nuts. It's crazy. And it's crazy. If I went, well, I'm gonna have to go off camera and tell you all the benefits that I got, because I got a bunch of them.
I got some that aren't for a family audience, man. So yeah.
I feel 18 though. I feel
Right. Me too, man. Me too. I'm back at it, man. Fr Humphrey says yes. Slap your mama, man.
slap
That
your
must
mama.
be some
Where's
good
that?
stuff. Let's get some comments. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Susie Underwood says hello.
Hey, Susie.
Rhonda says hi, JT and Brandon. How you
What's
doing,
up? What's
Rhonda?
up? What's up?
Susie, hi, JT, Brandon. Happy Friday. We were just mentioning Friday, man. We love
Yeah.
Fridays, man.
I might watch Friday when we get off of here.
Yeah, I think I'm a next Friday guy, but I haven't seen the first Friday or Friday after next in a while. I do
Oh,
try to watch Friday after next around Christmas though, because it is a Christmas
it's so
movie, man.
ridiculous. It's so stupid.
It's a good one. Hey, do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I would put Die Hard. I'm not like Christmas specific, but I would watch it during Christmas.
Yeah, that's for me. Die Hard or Home Alone, I have to watch around
Mhm.
Christmas time. That and Elf. I love Elf. I love that one.
Elf is funny.
DC Learning to Live. Hello, Carnivores. How you doing, David?
What up? What up? What up?
He said, LOL, your friends filming you snore?
Man, they listen. I told my friends. Thank you for saying that. I told my friends. I said, y'all are the fakest friends that I've ever had in my life. I said, y'all knew I was walking around here fat, looking like a pregnant raccoon, and y'all didn't say anything to me at all. Y'all around here letting me snore like a boar hog. Like, you didn't say a word to me. Nothing.
They're probably just protecting your feelings, you know?
I know, and killing me.
Yeah, sometimes you almost have to.
I'm
But
joking, man.
maybe they didn't know about Carnivore. Did they know, or do they know? I'm sure they know now.
They know now. Oh, that's what yeah, you were asking me, what my family and them felt about that, my friends and all that.
Mike says, "Hey family, how you doing, Mike?" David Gonzalez, how's the carnivore diet? It's amazing for both me and Brandon. We are just, as Shane from Sightless Carnivores would say, we're killing it on carnivore. We
Chilling
really
on
are.
carnivore, man. Heck yeah.
FR Humphrey, how you doing? Rich LeBoy, hello everyone. How you doing? David says it's mind-blowing how healing power of the proper diet. Oh, the
Yep.
healing power of the proper human diet.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man.
Mind-blowing.
It's crazy.
The tongue is one of the first areas to put on weight and lose. DC learning to live.
Crazy.
Yeah, you guys check out David. He was homeless with cancer, man, when he found Carnivore.
Come on.
Yeah, he's got an amazing story. So DC learning to live. Check him out. He's the story's wild.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Humphrey? Man, very nice. Meaning Wellness, how you doing? Christy. A higher neck circumference, she says, can be connected to sleep apnea.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely as well. Yeah, me losing 4 inches in my neck definitely had an impact.
Man, now I'm salty. I never measured my dang neck, bro.
Man, well, you know
We
what?
didn't know each other, you know.
Well, go back and look at your old shirts that you could button up.
Man, they're all stretched. They are stretched. If they aren't stretched, I pop the top button, man. I'm down to the second button on all those shirts, man. They're gone, man.
Man, you know what? Trying to find clothes is the craziest thing now, dude.
Brandon,
cannot.
I was an XL, so
Come
I
on.
got all excited. I bought a bunch of larges, right? By the time
Oh,
and then they sat there for like a week and a half. I was like, oh, I'll get them. Like it's just my mind couldn't accept that I had dropped the size, so I just hadn't
yep,
put them on yet. I
yep.
put them on. I was already down to a size medium.
That's that same story for me. After I lost the first 27 pounds the first month, I told my girlfriend, I said, well, I need to go buy some more shirts because none of my shirts fit me. And she said, I think you should wait. I think you have more weight to lose. And I did. I had 40 more pounds to lose. I didn't know, but but it was crazy because I was like, nothing fit. And I went through this weird transition because I was just steady losing every single freaking day. So,
yeah, 60 pounds in what, 68 days, you said?
68 days.
That's dang near a pound a day, you guys.
It was nuts, man. It was absolutely nuts. It was nuts.
Mike says, I hope I never need to experience the sleep apnea. Yeah, stay on carnivore, man, and you'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Rick, he's been on carnivore for 40 years, Brandon.
Man.
He started in, I think, 83 or something like that out of protest.
That's an OG, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, kudos to you.
Yep, and he's down in Florida, man. He gets his eggs for free from the ducks, and once in a while he'll cook up an iguana. He says it's pretty good down there in Florida.
But I've seen some. Yeah, I lived in Orlando for about 3 years.
You ever try iguana?
I have not. I don't think I want to either. But listen, I'm from Louisiana, man. We eat some weird stuff too.
What is the craziest thing you think you've ate, or crazy to you?
It would probably be. I mean, I like oxtails, but I mean, in the South, a lot of people eat oxtails.
I've never had oxtail. What's it taste like?
It's kind of like it's a fattier, almost like beef tip.
Okay.
With a bone. Alligator.
Oh, I've never had it. What's alligator taste like?
It tastes like chicken, and I actually kind of prefer it. I love the taste, especially fried alligator. Fried alligator is.
The only time I had alligator was in Red Dead Redemption 2.
I never finished Red Dead Redemption 2. I
got down to the South, man, and they had gators, and I was swamp hunting. I was like, pew, pew.
Yeah, I never finished Red Dead Redemption. I'm really kind of salty about that.
You should, man, because the ending is beautiful on Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like playing a movie. It's amazing. That's the definition of sanity. Okay, I'm just catching up, so I'm not sure what that was.
No, it's all good.
That's amazing. Hey, Christy. Okay, David says he subbed, brother. Thank you for subbing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Walking while listening. Thank you, Rhonda. See, she's getting her steps in. She's not playing around with it either, man. Thank you for introducing me to Brandon. I had not heard his story before. I'm a fan. Subbed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
He's got a great story, man. And I love your energy, man. And you told You went in probably the most detail yet so far. Like most people only last, I said, about 14 minutes, man. You
Oh,
get
bro,
about 30
listen,
minutes, man. You doubled them, man. You
I
set
can
the
talk.
bar. You set the bar, bro.
I
You
can
did.
talk, man. Listen, I can talk.
No, it's great, man. I enjoyed like you should do more videos just like you did with me, man, where you just speak from the heart, man. Because
Yeah, man.
it was
Yeah,
good.
man. I'm working on. I've had to get out of my head because, like I said, it's so different from what people are accustomed to hearing me
When
talk
you get
about.
out of your head, that's called the luminal space.
I know, man.
That's
I
the
know.
space between two ideas. That's where they get the word subliminal from.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And the
sir.
luminal space is where all the magic happens. Like if you see people do a performance and they feel like they had an out of body experience, they just tuned everything out and just started singing so beautiful. That's because they entered the luminal space. I love learning about just the most
The
wildest
luminous
stuff,
space.
bro.
Well, my girlfriend, she's about to graduate in December with her bachelor's from the University of Houston in psychology with a minor in biology, and she's going into neuroscience. And so it's so cool to see all the things that she learns, and how it is, how it goes hand in hand with the stuff that that I've learned about eating and things. I mean, it all goes hand in hand, man. And it's
Yep.
so crazy that so we love stuff like that, man. She's real big into this thing called human design. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Mm-mm.
You should look it up. It's called human design. And I can send you the link to it. But it's so
Yeah, I'm
good.
gonna send you my text and we'll be texting
Yeah,
later.
yeah, it's super specific. It's not general stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Christy from Meeting Wellness, she said she just subbed, Brandon.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It will not cure everything, but it won't make it worse.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely right. Yeah, we're not selling something false, and who
Nope.
knows? I don't know, what it cures, what it doesn't, but it's worth giving it a shot especially if you think you've hit rock bottom and you
Yeah.
can't. What do you got to lose then? If you're actually
Yeah.
at rock bottom, you can't go any further. So you might
Yeah.
technically, by law, the only way up from there is up.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I feel like anyone who doesn't have permanent damage of any sort will be cured or healed from the carnivore diet.
mm,
Anyone who has any kind of permanent damage or something that just can't be reversed will be better with the diet. But
yep,
I would dare to say that if you don't have irreversible things going on with you, there's no reason why a body being in a healthy state won't cure the things because most of what we're dealing with are not sicknesses. They are malfunctions of the body because we are eating a species inappropriate diet.
mm-hmm.
So if they're not sicknesses and they're just malfunctions because of what we're eating, stop eating the wrong stuff and the body will stop malfunctioning. And that's just the bottom line.
Absolutely. Do you still got a couple minutes or do you got to run?
Oh man, I'm here for you.
Okay, let's get through the comments, okay?
Let's go ahead.
Chafee calendar needs to happen. Yep, Rick. Chafee, man, we got to get him on there. Brandon said he's going to hit him up too, so we'll see what happens here. Should be interesting. F.R. Humphrey visiting his house now, checking things out. Yeah, check his YouTube channel out. Check it out. Yep, that's the slap yo mama. Rick, chase that iguana. Hey, yeah, it's free meat.
It's free.
Calendars, we should do yearly for all carnivores. Hey, there we
I
go.
agree.
Now Rick is into ducks. He says a duck calendar.
Here for it.
I wonder what caribou. You ever had caribou?
I've never had caribou. Never,
Me neither.
never ventured out there. I'm not opposed, but I ain't never ventured that way.
12 minutes from my house, there's a elk farm,
Come on.
and they sell the meats and stuff. I haven't had the gumption to try elk. Cause oh no, that's reindeer that helps Santa. Okay, never mind. I was like, how could you eat a reindeer? Or I thought it was but that's an elk. Sorry about that, guys. Rich LeBoy has to be nutritious. Yeah, exactly. All my steaks are. They really are. Okay, let's see here. I want to feel like 18 again. Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm
Get
18.
on it.
Honestly, that's not exaggeration. I
Get on it.
just hit day 100 and oof.
Get on it. I think I require less sleep. I have more energy. I mean, if it, I've been up since 5 o'clock, maybe even before. I've been up at least since 5 o'clock this morning. I drove all
Wow.
the way to Louisiana and came back. Feels good, man.
Yeah, I don't go to bed till about 3 now, 3:30, sometimes 4, and then I'm back up at 8, 8:30. So I
So
really don't need much when you're getting good sleep.
yeah,
And before I felt like even with 12 hours, I felt like crap. And then
Yeah,
I wasted 6.5 hours
yeah,
and I still didn't even feel better.
yeah. We're choking in our sleep.
Exactly, with those fat tongues, right? Question, you said you might be building muscle. How do you train if you do?
Okay, so full transparency, I don't do anything crazy, and I'm not even as consistent as what I should be. But I do have an X3 bar, and it's just a bar with a bunch of resistance bands, and so resistance bands, easy workouts, 15, 20 minutes, push-ups. I was doing, I'm on and off. I'll try to do 100 push-ups a day, something crazy like that. I mean, it's not crazy. It's actually pretty simple when you put it over the span of the entire day. But yeah, resistance bands, push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups, old stuff. You don't need to go to the gym, man. You can
I
get it.
just bought a jump rope off Amazon
Yeah,
for
man. Yeah,
$9. It was
yeah,
8.99.
yeah. No, you can. You don't have to. We can put the gyms out of business, man. You don't have to do it. It's not necessary. You can build a lot of muscle with 10-pound dumbbells and be done with it.
What is your routine exactly? Like, like you said, you do that 100 push-ups throughout the day?
Yeah, so I might do 100
And when you
push-ups.
do resistance bands, like how long do you do it? 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15?
Babe, can you bring my X bar? I'll show you what I have.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. And where did you buy it, Brandon?
She ordered it online. You can get it online. It's called the X3 bar, and a lot of the other doctors, Dr. Shafee uses it.
Could you
Uh,
send me the link? Because then I'll put it in the description for
yeah,
anybody who wants to buy it.
yeah. Let me put it.
That'd
Let's
be
see.
another thing to sign up for an Amazon affiliate account, because that way, if you got something like that you personally use, you can put your link, and then when they buy it, you would get
It's just X
some
bar,
kickback.
right? This is no. Boom. Okay, let me see. Can y'all see this? So this is the X bar. All right, and then you just got your different resistance bands that go with it, and you can do any kind of
Do you
exercise.
stand on the band?
Yeah, you stand on the band, you put it down, stand on the band, and then you do whatever you want to do with it. The bands have different things. You can do whatever you
Hmm.
want. It's got some holders to where you can do push up, different kind of push up. Oh, here we go. Thank you. To where you can do different kind of push ups with them. It'll hold it on the ground for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can anything that you can think of, you can do with these resistance bands. And so I just take it slow. Because the whole point of resistance is to go until the muscle is exhausted.
That's what Chafee says. That's
Yeah,
how he gets so cut. He said it's all about,
yeah,
going slow and resistance.
yeah. So if it's 10 of them, it's 10 hard until I can't get it anymore. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing. And so I mean it's super, super simple. I mean, you can literally go in your living room and 10 minutes of that and you're done. And you don't have to get out of your house. You don't have to spend money on a gym membership or crazy equipment or anything like that. It's super simple, man.
You guys, and I'll get the link from him, and I'll put it in the
Yeah.
description if you guys want to pick up the same bar. Muhammad Ali used to say that he never counted his reps. He would go until he felt he couldn't go anymore, and then
Yep.
he would start counting.
Yep.
So he said he never knew what his reps were. He would just always take it to exhaustion and then try to count how many he could go past exhaustion. So I always thought that was kind of cool.
Here, I just put that in the chat in our chat there.
Cool, you guys. He just put it in the chat there.
I put it in the private chat there.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, oxtail is so good.
Oxtails is where it's at.
Let me copy that.
Oxtails. I also like one day I'm gonna have to get on there and just show y'all what I'm cooking in the kitchen. I love turkey necks. I don't know if anybody's ever eaten turkey necks.
Mm-mm.
Most of the time, you just take it out whenever for Thanksgiving. Folks don't
How
even.
do you cook it up?
Oh man, yeah, season that thing up. I brown it in the skillet, and then I'll season it up, put it in the pot, pour some chicken broth on it, season that chicken broth on it, and just boil that thing for 4 or 5 hours. And man, it's just nothing but lean meat, and it's just falling off the bone. It's not fatty. I full transparency, I really don't like a lot of fat in my, like when I'm biting down on something. And so sometimes even oxtails, as much as I like them, they can be a little too fatty for me sometimes.
So
But
what is your favorite cut of beef, Brandon?
I probably like a New York strip. I think it's probably fair in the middle right there for me. I sometimes ribeyes can be a little too fatty for me. Sometimes sirloins can be a little too chewy for me, and then sometimes the fillets can be a little too heavy for me because it doesn't really have the big fat content on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'd probably say a New York strip or even a T-bone. I like a T-bone.
T-bone's good too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lately I've been hooked on the prime rib, even though they're a little expensive. But the fat just melts in my mouth, man. Now it's
Man,
like.
well, look at that. I mean, you got that expensive hat on. You can afford. You can afford.
I actually sell these. I just sold out, but I ordered some more hats, and my wife's got. I've got patches. I just don't have hats. So my wife, as soon as I get the hats, my wife's gonna put the patches on. It's cool. The patch even glows in the dark.
That's so cool,
The
man.
threading.
That's so cool, man. I'm gonna have to get Marie on here. We didn't talk about some of that mind stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Question: what is the name of Brandon's YouTube channel? I got it up right now. He's Mr. Carnivore.
Official. Mr. Carnivore
Official.
official. Yep. And
You
it's
guys, and or you can type in Brandon Nelson and then probably put Carnivore after that, and that'll definitely bring him up for sure.
and it's the same across Instagram and on TikTok as well. It's Mr. Carnivore official.
Yeah. Yep. I was chatting with Brandon on Instagram.
In the crock pot. Yeah. I love them in the crock pot. I love to put the turkey necks in the I love the pressure cooker. I don't know if y'all ever cook with a pressure cooker. I
No,
love
I've never tried it.
Man, the pressure cooker.
How's it turn out on that?
It's so quick, man. The whole point is to cook it quickly. So I mean, you can throw a bunch of stuff in there, season it up, and in 30 minutes that stuff will be ready to go. I love it because I don't like to think about what I'm eating. So if I can do something quick, the less amount of time I can think about it, the better for me.
Yeah, do you feel like you got a lot of extra time now that you're not worrying about what to eat and how,
Yeah, I mean, 1000%. I don't even. It's not on the top of my list.
Let's see here. I got a couple questions too.
Yeah, man.
Let me pull this one down here.
I hope I'm not boring anybody. I can go.
No, you're all good. You're all good. So the sleep apnea is better now. The severe reflex, how's that doing?
That's gone. Apnea is gone. The reflex has been gone since the first week.
Since the first week. Now, I asked you about the family. I had a question here. Now that you've gotten down to, would you say you're at your goal weight or near it?
Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't have a goal weight, which is the craziest thing because I didn't know what to anticipate. I thought that I was going to land somewhere maybe in the 170s is where I thought I was going to end up being. And like I said, I'm in between 135 and 140. I didn't have a goal weight. When I stopped losing, I stopped losing. And so, yeah, I'm fine with it now. I don't feel like I want to get any bigger. I've been toying with the idea of doing like some physique model competitions and that type of thing. So I would have to put on a little bit more muscle, but that's still lean cut stuff. It's not anything. So I'm where I want to be and I don't want to gain any more weight. If I gain some more muscle while I'm doing that, that's fine. But, I feel like this is the way that I'm supposed to naturally look.
So now you at your base weight, would you say, do you find, because I'm wondering, because now that I'm getting closer to my goal weight, I feel like I'm eating more meat now than I was when I first started carnivore. And I'm just trying to think if there's something to do with the body fat hanging on us, like, because when I first started carnivore, I had more body fat, so I couldn't eat as big of a ribeye. And now that I have less body fat, do you find that that's kind of with you or not really?
What, that I can actually eat more
meat than you could when you started carnivore diet?
Yeah, if I want to, I can chow down on it if I actually wanted to. But I think it's because our bodies are just so accustomed to eating it now. And so now sometimes we can cross over from being hungry into just the enjoyment, eating to enjoy now. And I do that sometimes. I think that's what, you're experiencing, because at first it was so just conscious of eating when I'm hungry. Now it's just like, I just eat what I want because there's no more fear behind what you're about to eat. So you don't have to think about it anymore. You just go in there and you eat, and you're not worried about if that's going to give you reflux tonight or make you snore, or if it's, going to hurt your belly or whatever it is. You just know you're good. And so I think that plays a part into it when you don't have to be thinking about it all the time. I think that plays a part too.
Yeah. Okay. I like that answer because I was wondering about that because I just feel like the more weight I lose, the more meat I'm eating too. We got a question here. What does your doctor say?
I got rid of him, and I'm going to the one I'm going to on the 11th is the one that I'm gonna see what they have to say about it. The ENT.
Have you gotten any lab tests done since you've
Yeah,
been on Carnivore?
I've gotten the blood work done, and I mean everything is, just above board. I mean, in full transparency, I can the next blood test that I do, I'll actually show you all the results and everything because I
Awesome.
believe in that. I believe in showing people that
Yeah,
stuff.
because that's one thing that they say us carnivores are hiding. At least when I watch videos against carnivore, they're like, "Oh, the carnivores hide their blood tests," and
I would
I got
listen.
nothing to hide, man.
I would go into any blood clinic with any vegan or any vegetarian at any time, every single day. I'd go with them for an entire month for 30 days straight. I will beat them in my numbers. My numbers are pristine, and I guarantee yours are the same.
Yeah, my wife's were all perfectly in the middle. They got a bar, and the green bar they gave her, she was literally dead spot on in the middle of the green bar, almost all of them. And I think the one she was a little high on was still in the green though, but it just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fully centered. And
Yeah.
boy, was her doctor annoyed.
Yeah, it's something. Isn't it crazy?
She was annoyed that she couldn't give her a statin, that her body was actually turning things around, and she was annoyed, man.
Yeah,
Could you
yeah, no, it's
imagine?
crazy. Yeah, because my HDL and my LDL are higher than what they would say it should be. My triglycerides are extremely low, and that's where the issue is. The low triglycerides is where you want to be. When your triglycerides are high and you have high LDL and HDL at the same time, that's a recipe for disaster. But the cholesterol is not the cause. The cholesterol is just a marker that says, hey, there's something going on. And
Mm-hmm.
so, so the triglycerides going down was really the big thing. And
Mm-hmm.
and same thing with my clients. Their cholesterol is teetering above average as far as what high is considered, but their triglycerides are 40, 50, 60, and so I mean it's blowing the minds of their doctors. They don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, she even said that it's the doctor said that it's to my wife. She made a comment that it sounds like her husband's dream diet. So out of her own mouth, she didn't like it, but she called it a dream diet out of her own words.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nuts, man. It's crazy how many health professionals will not engage me in the conversation, or and again, I don't consider myself a professional, but and so I try to be respectful in the fact that these people have gone to school and done the study and all of that. But you have to get to a point to where you ask yourself, what's more important?
Well, the books are different than actually, you can read about like playing baseball, but until you've actually gotten on the field and played baseball.
Well, that's my point. What's more important, the books that you've read or the results that you get? Because I guarantee you, if your client asked you what's more important, you sticking to your book or you getting results, they would tell you,
Results, man.
they
We
would tell
all
you,
want
damn the book,
results.
go to the results. And that's bottom. I can't say that I'm a medical professional, but I can say that I've got people who have been struggling with things for decades, who have been going to doctors, spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for decades, that we're fixing their issues before the month is out. And
Now,
I
if
feel
someone wants to be one of your clients, how do they sign up, Brandon?
so you just reach out to me on Instagram. I've got two packages. I've got a $300 package that we do. And I give you the full meal plan. We meet up. I walk you through everything that you need. And then I've got a $2,000 program that I do for 3 months. And I coach you one-on-one. I give you everything that I've done. I help you with any of your problem spots, show you all my recipes, show you everything that I eat, all of the people that I listen to. You have access to any of the Q&As or any of the live streams that we have. And so, but just two packages. I got the one where if you think you can do it yourself, here it is. And I've got the one to where I'm telling you, I wish I would have had a coach.
No, yeah,
I did.
Brandon, there's a reason I talk about my life coach all the time. People thought like, "Oh, is it your football coach?" Or like, no, it's not a sports coach. I went and found a life coach, Bob Proctor, man, and
Bob Proctor.
yeah, he helped me get out of the dirt, man. I wasn't living right, Brandon,
Yep.
and now I feel like, man, he really helped me get out of some crap.
Yep. What's the name of his program? Success? No, it's
Oh, he's got so many.
it was the main one, that the one he did way back.
Success Puzzle.
It's not Success Puzzle. It was in the 80s though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got Born Rich.
Born Rich. That's what it is. Born
Yeah,
Rich.
Born rich, man. I'm telling you, and we all are born rich, man. We might
Yes,
be
sir.
short a few dollars here and there, but we're all born rich, man, because
Got
we're
it.
all
Yeah.
alive and we all get to experience everybody's company. You know, and
Hmm.
I was saying the other day, like we all might be going through a little bit different things, but we're all going through these things together
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're all in
Absolutely.
this journey called life together. We all get to see each other and talk to each other and pat each other on the back and give each other a high five. Like we're in this together, guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely, my man.
It is. Now, before we wrap things up, um, I got two questions left. One, are you happy with your results, Brandon, on the carnivore diet?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would do it 1,000 times over again. If the process was incredible. So I'm super happy with the process, and I'm happy with the results, and it keeps getting better every day.
And the last question I like to ask people: what's on your heart, Brandon? What would you like to talk to the people about? Could be anything, carnivore, whatever you want.
I think as it pertains to my girlfriend has been doing MDMR, and that's kind of the process of going back to your childhood and trying to find traumas and reasons why we do things that we do and feel the way that we feel and so on and so forth. And I really think it's super great to go and dig deep and try to answer questions. A lot of us have things going on in our lives and we can't really explain them. For me, I didn't grow up with my dad. I don't know what that did, what that's done to me as a man. I'll probably never know the full extent of what that's done to me. And so to go back and to be able to address some of those things is great. But then also remembering that, people oftentimes are focused on, going and finding the negative while not remembering that we've had more good days than bad days. And so I feel like while it's important to go and dig up those things that, find the reasons that we do the things that we do, I feel like it's also equally as important to dig up those times where you felt great, to dig up those times where you were having a good time, where you were feeling good, where you were radiating, and to live in that vibration.
Gratitude.
You don't have to keep visiting those things that hurt you. Go dig up the things that helped you. Go dig up the things that made you smile. Go dig up the things that make you sing and live in that vibration. Live in that light. Live in that radiation. Because that, if you're going to make a choice, choose that one. Live in that one. You've had way more good days than you've ever had bad days. You've made way more right decisions than you've ever made wrong. So live in the right, live in the good.
Yep, that vibration is gratitude, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. You know, just on that same subject, there was my coach was helping a lady, and she had went through a divorce, and she was real upset about it. And she told my coach that she was going to go to therapy for 6 months and work through it. And he said to her, "Why would you ever do that?" And she's like, "Well, to work through it. What don't you understand? And
Right.
he says, so you want to spend 6 months, a half a year, he says, living in the past and staying in a bad vibration and being upset about something that's already happened and it's done with.
Right.
And she's like, well, then what would you suggest me to do, Bob? Bob says you need to go home and find something else to do that would excite you more than going to this therapy.
Absolutely.
And she thought he was crazy. And when she came back to him, she's one of his favorite people when he was alive. He's passed on now, but she came back to Bob and she said that she's got the idea on what would be better than going to therapy, what would excite her and make her want to jump out of bed. And he's like, what is it? She says, I want to start schools in Africa. And she says, not just build a hut and then with no electricity and tell the kids go in there and learn, because they already build a lot of schools, she said, but a lot of them close because they don't have electricity, they
Yeah.
don't have hot
Yeah.
lunch,
Yeah.
they don't have tampons and things for the girls.
Yeah.
She says there's a whole bunch of things you need to make it accessible. And she says that was just exciting her so much. And she said she was so grateful for Bob telling her to find something she was grateful for rather than
Man.
something
Yeah.
she was regretful for.
Yeah, man. No, I mean that's just biblical. Bible says whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are worthy of a good report. He said, dwell on these things. You've got a choice every day, all day, on what you're going to dwell on
Mm.
You may as well dwell on the things that make you vibrate, that make you jump out of bed, that make you radiate. If you're going to make the choice to be there, because when you're doing that, you're the best expression, the best version of yourself, unfiltered, unadulterated, unrestrained. You're the best version of yourself, not just for you, but for the people around you as well.
Mhm.
That's people want to see you like that. Who wants to see a depressed person? Nobody really like goes and seeks out to see a depressed person. They want to be with the person that's vibrating, that's radiating high. And that's because, you're attractive when you're in that state.
Mm.
You're your best version when you're in that state. And again, people can call it woo woo, but you have a choice every day. Either think high or think low. You may as well think high, man.
Absolutely. I love it, Brandon. Did you have fun, man?
I did, man. No, I appreciate you reaching out, bro. I mean, I was so
Would you
thrilled.
come back?
Of course, man. I ain't, I've not been on YouTube for too long as far as doing this. I'm more on Instagram and things, and so I'm trying to get that going.
Absolutely.
And so I
We got you up
appreciate
to
you, man.
26
No,
subscribers.
you're the real deal. I appreciate
I
that,
don't
man.
I don't have as big of an audience, and
No.
people get fooled by my numbers mostly because I came from the family niche,
Mm-hmm.
and I still had IBS and sleep apnea, but then I found carnivore. Now I'm doing all carnivore content. So I'm kind
Man,
of new to carnivore, the
no, it's gonna break
carnivore
out. It's
community.
gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. I appreciate it. No, this is an honor. Anytime somebody would ask me to come on and do this is an honor, man.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, I'm gonna have him back for an update very soon.
And I'm gonna have to have you on, man.
Absolutely. Just you've got my calendar link, right?
Mm-hmm.
Book another date in there and just put in the notes that it's for me to go on your show, and
Do it. Yes,
we're
sir.
in.
Yes,
We're
sir.
in.
Absolutely, man.
My coach always says the first law of learning, you guys, is repetition. So please
Repetition.
replay this. There's value in Brandon and there's value in his story. You're going to find a lot of value in this stream. You play it back, you might laugh some more, you learn some more. So check it out again, replay it, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And I do check my analytics. 57% of people who watch Chatting with Carnivores are not subscribed. So you guys, please subscribe to both channels. That would be awesome. It helps us get this message of the answered prayer that
I
a lot of
agree.
people are looking for. The carnivore diet helps us get this out there. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
Brandon,
y'all,
this has
man.
been a blast.
Yes, man. Yep. Appreciate it.
Thank
Appreciate
you
all
and
of
goodbye, guys. I'll do my duck face on the way out, Rick.
y'all.